Yeah, another good win for us. I feel like every win in the Big 12 is a good win because they certainly don't come easy. I think Arizona State is kind of one of those scary teams that you don't want to catch on a certain day because they have very, very capable scorers. I think their record is not really indicative of how good they can be. Because they've played teams very close, and they've played the top teams in our league pretty close. So I was pleased just to get a win at home, and it was really good for us to see some shots go down. You know, we kind of struggled scoring at Texas Tech and had kind of a couple games where things were a little bit sticky for us, but tonight I thought it was good to see the ball go in and knock down some threes. We have to be better from the free throw line, which we know. So it was a good second half from the free throw line for us, but overall I would like for us to be better in general. But overall, it's a win, and we will gladly take it.
I want to ask this before she gets in here, but Stailee, she dropped 34 the other night, she drops 28 tonight. It's way early for this, but is there any reason she can't be an All-American this year?
I mean, unfortunately, I think a lot of things are pretty political, and there's some really, really great basketball players across the country. I mean, I think women's basketball is just in such an amazing place, you know. So do I think that she's one of the best players in the country? Absolutely. And I think the coolest thing about Staley is she could really care less about any of that. And to be honest, I didn't even know she had that many points tonight because I'm just trying to coach our team, and that's what she's doing for us as a player. She's out there coaching, she's out there leading, and just finding ways to help us win. So I think that her scoring has just kind of been a byproduct of that. But there's no doubt in my mind she's one of the best players in the country, and certainly one of the best in the Big 12.
Did things feel, when y'all went to Houston, obviously you were sort of disappointed with how the team showed up, especially at the beginning of the game. How did you like just the energy and the effort tonight, especially compared to that one?
Yeah, I don't think that we've had a slow start like that since that game, and that's just speaks to the maturity of this team. I think they understand the level of preparation you have to have going into each game. The two games that we've lost in conference are we would all agree as a program or as a team that our preparation was not what it needed to be as far as intensity and urgency. So I think our team has been really mature and player-led and understanding how important those practices are. And I don't feel like slow starts have been an issue for us since that Houston game.
Stailee, you've shot 88 threes now this season. You shot 87 all of last season. Just kind of what has the work been like to get to this point to where you're comfortable maybe doubling up on three-point attempts this year?
Honestly, I think my role is different this year. Maybe not to Coach's point, but I think just getting in the gym this summer, we talked about expanding my game and, stepping out, expanding my range, just shooting the three more. I think that just leads to my leadership, just scoring for all three levels, and that's just harder to guard.
Coach, you guys had 6 points all night from mid-range. Just how important is it to you to sort of play like a numbers game and get out to that big lead and just sort of, I don't even really know how to say it, but just like dare them to, put up shots and see if they can catch up?
Yeah, I mean, we want to play fast. We felt like transition was a big part of our game plan tonight, and because they also want to play fast, and so we felt like we really wanted to load up and stop them from scoring quick, easy points in transition. But on the flip side, we really wanted to run and push the pace against them. So that was, we outscored them on the fast break points 21-11. That was something that we kind of had circled going into that game. And again, though, you got to make shots when you're doing that. So it was good to see the ball go down.
What is the next step for this team?
We just have to continue to get better. And we still have a long ways to go with that. And it's just fun, though, because this team is really focused on the process, and we still have a very eager team to get better. Like, we're still having kids come up and watch film, and we're still just doing the little things outside of practice. We're very mission driven, and we're not looking too far ahead. Every game for us right now is the most important game of the season. We're trying to go 1-0 every game, and that has served us very well because to look back and see that we've won 8 Big 12 games. I mean that's awesome. Not many teams are in that position right now, but there's still a lot of basketball to be played. So we're just continuing to find different ways to get better offensively, defensively, and we still have a lot of work to do with that.
I think that's one more Big 12 game than y'all won last year.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
I mean, is that? I know y'all are sick of talking about last year, but does that? I don't know. Is that just another sign of how much progress this group has made?
It's just a sign of getting the right kids in, and we certainly have that, and that's why this season has been so fun. Take the winning out, it's about process, and we're just loving each other and loving the process, and that's really what it's about, is the people.
Coach, this season, especially in Big 12 play, you've really done a good job of guarding opposing lead guards. I mean, tonight, Jaylen Brown got her points, but it was pretty inefficient. At 7 for 21, you did a really good job on Haley Van Lith and Madison Connor and JJ Quinterly. So I guess, why do you think that you're having so much success against those kind of players, and what goes into that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got great defenders who really take pride in it. Alexia Smith, I think, has been a great leader for us in that sense. Tonight it was a little different because Staley was guarding their leading scorer, but in general, it's kind of, Lex, Micah, tonight it was Stailee, but we just have kids who are really up for that challenge and take it personal and have a lot of pride. I think a lot of times kids just only care about offense, but we know that that's what's making us so good right now is playing on both ends of the floor. So I think it's a lot of just personal pride by those players, but also great team defense. And we, have kids who are just really good in their gaps and helping out and, just kind of having each other's backs. So we talked actually about that the other day, just, kind of what's making us successful right now. And that was something that we really talked about was, taking out the other team's best players. And some of the games that haven't gone well for us, we have not done a good job of that. So it's really easy to see on paper what we need to do to get where we want to go.
Tendon looked a little bit hesitant to start the game, and I would say probably the same thing for all of TCU, but in the second half she looked like she settled in on offense. Just how much does she work on her shot, and how important is it for you that she gets comfortable with that and for the team?
Who's that? Tendon. Yeah, T, I mean, she's such a presence for us defensively, and that's really, I think, where she makes us as good as she does, and then the offense is just kind of a cherry on top, honestly. She's a great post presence. We've seen her, be really dominant, and we've seen her just kind of play her role and give us defense. But again, that's the cool thing with this team is they don't really get caught up in their points and stuff like that. And T, sometimes I wish would be more aggressive, to be honest, but, it's just not really what drives her.
How important is Anna Gret's maturity? Because we've seen at different points this year she's had, for various reasons, she's been a focal point for y'all, and then she's been, at least on the box score, not produced. How important is it for her to be able to ride those games where she's not going to have a big night and come back and have that the next game?
It's huge. It's everything. I was so proud of her after Texas Tech, and I say that because she didn't even get a field goal attempt. She didn't get one shot off, and I don't even know, going back and watching, it was just kind of how the game, it was, when you got Staley going off, I mean, that helps. But, there really wasn't a reason. It just kind of happened that way. But I was so proud of her because she handled it so well. Her body language on the bench, her body language on the court was perfect. She never started pressing. She didn't get really low after that game. And then, she comes out tonight and knocks those threes down. And I think that speaks volumes of her maturity and just her selflessness. And we talked after the Texas Tech game, and, she just had such a great attitude about it. And I kind of pointed out, that's the cool thing with this team is you can have those types of days and we can still find ways to win.
Stailee, Jaden had 7 assists, no turnovers tonight. Just kind of, you're fresh off your freshman season. Just kind of what does that take for her to be producing at the level she is so young?
Honestly, I stay on her pretty hard just because I know how she's she can play and what she can do. Sometimes she's just careless with the ball, and we have she's like that in practice, and she's too casual sometimes. But I tell her all the time, freshman year is hard, but she has to stay focused. She's on a really good team this year, so she has no room to relax.
Staley, as a freshman, was there a moment when things slowed down, or I don't know? Obviously, you had a weird freshman season, but was there a moment when you felt like you adjusted, or did that happen in the off season maybe?
It definitely happened in the off season. I just didn't have the people around me to get enough time to adjust at all.
You felt like maybe the whole season it was just a whirlwind kind of coming at you?
Yeah, just a blur.
We were surviving.
Have you seen a difference in Jaden as the season's gone on? Do you feel like she's had that moment yet, or is that maybe ahead of her?
Yeah, I have. She's gaining more confidence and shooting the ball more. She has more confidence. She's speaking up more, and I tell her all the time she's considered a leader on this team. Just because she's a freshman doesn't mean anything. I don't think classification means anything, but I tell her all the time when she's one of our leaders, and I look at her like that. I don't look at her as a freshman.
Coach, tonight was one of y'all's, first game against one of the new 4 Big 12 schools. I guess is it different at all when you go into a matchup and you not as familiar with the team's tendencies or a coaching style or anything like that? What's that kind of like? And you guys play the other 3 next month, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, definitely. It is. Especially for me, I just grew up on Big 12 basketball. So, you're playing in Iowa State, you know exactly what you're going to get, or K-State, and those sorts of things. But the new teams definitely add a new kind of style and different type of preparation. So it's been fun, though. And it's, we're all rooting really hard for each other in the Big 12. I want we need everyone to be successful, and so it's fun kind of following them, especially in the early season when you don't really know much about them, or you're not playing the same types of teams. So it's definitely been a kind of a learning experience with those new teams, but it's been really good, and it helps us as coaches, I think, to learn and adapt different styles and different things that we can do and see. So it's been really enjoyable.
Coach, I'm sure you've been asked about this already, so my apologies for that. But, it's a pretty unique situation that your husband and your daughter are able to not only be here for these home games, but they're also able to go on the road games with you. I guess, what has that meant to you as a mom, of course, but then also as a coach, just to have your husband supporting you there? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it takes a village, and it's so incredibly special to have him along the ride with me, and it's been neat just kind of seeing him be the best girl dad. I've seen the best version of him being a father, and so that's been really special. And just I have pictures of all of our girls holding. I got a picture of Stailee holding her at Baylor, and all that stuff is just so special. That's really what's making all of the season click so much, and not necessarily because of Harlow and my family, but just because we're all family, and we're all just there to help each other and support each other. And Jasmine Player also has a little one who's just a couple months older than Harlow, and they just bring a different element that kind of softens everything up and lightens everything up, and it's been really fun because it just speaks volumes to the family that makes up this program.
Anything else?
Coach, just to follow up on what Staley said about Jaden's showing more leadership in practice, just how have you seen that, and is that unusual to? I don't know, does that speak to her ability that you have a freshman that the team can look to as a leader?
1,000%, yeah. Yes, she's one of the best freshmen in the conference, and she needs to be. That's why we brought her here. That was Stailee a year ago, and we're coaching Jaden hard because we know what she's capable of doing. And, you look back at that TCU game, she was guarding an Olympian. What she did to help us beat the number 9 team in the country, that's pretty special as a freshman. Where Jaden has to grow and where we all have to help her grow is we need you to be more consistent with that because you're capable. So why not, right? But it's habits. It's all those things that come with the territory of being a freshman. And thankfully, Jaden is very coachable and she wants to be great. So she's no doubt going to get there, and she's on a good path right now.